we've taught kids from Ireland, we've taught kids, we've sort of had an idea of the program and how to make the process. And this was where I really started embracing my inner nerd and pulling out my technical skills. And we started really focusing on this. And we actually started working with a few schools here in Vegas. And we actually still work with a few of the schools, and we're still right now doing online after school programs with them. And that's like sort of where we really started to like become perfect, was in these short 1 hour sessions. Because what we determined is that if we can teach a kid more in 1 hour than they can learn in a school year or in a school month or in a normal school day, then we have officially made something that is viable. And if we can make the worst students who perform the worst to perform the best, and to make sure that they actually understand and are passionate about this, we've succeeded. Our goal was always that. Our goal was to be able to take the worst student to the best student and be able to empower them and get them so passionate to work together and to build something successful. And that's sort of what we've embraced. And that's what we do to this day now. We do it now in a much more scalable way because, again, we've put in so many years, blood, sweat, tears, anything, the amount of hours we've spent sitting and just reconfiguring something and figuring it out for that one student, even though sometimes it would get annoying and we're just about to give up, but we did it and we figured out why and how to make it work. We developed ZeduPlus. So ZeduPlus was our first program. This is aimed for kids for after school programs for schools. What ZeduPlus means is Zet Generation Education. So that's why it's the ZeduPlus. And we wanted to build this program where we could bring it into any after school group and get kids to be excited about STEM, so get them to be excited about science, it's about education, technology, design. We would bring them through programs where they started off knowing nothing to being able to design a t-shirt or a presentation. We started doing our own versions of these events, these hackathons, because again, like for me, I was lucky enough to have great support of my parents. And then also I was really lucky enough to be always in Ireland, because it was so small, it was usually the same organizers. And luckily, because they were nice enough to let me go the first time, they sort of trusted me to go again. But I realized that there's not really a possibility for kids to go to these type of events because they're all age blocked, which is understandable. But then also, if we keep saying that kids are the future, how do we expect them to be the future when there's no place for them to actually make things?
That's right.
And
so,
yeah,
I'm trying to get. So is your program software? Is it in-person enrichment? I mean, still not lucid on exactly what.
So it's a bit of everything. So we can go online. We can go fully virtual. Virtual means that, for example, if we do online learning, that means that they could be like in a physical location, connecting together into one platform and working together. Or if we have fully virtual, like right now, most of our students are completely virtually learning, meaning that they're at home. They're learning through us through Zoom. They're learning through our LMS. And that's like the main system that we have right now going. Then we have on physical locations, which is what we first started out with. So this can be deployed in an event. It can be deployed in a school. It can be deployed in after school programs. So we work in any type of constraint, because when we designed this, we wanted this to be accessible to anybody. And the long-term goal is to have this program fully packaged in a USB. And we're actually currently working on designing a computer that can work in any type of conditions, whether there's no electricity or if there's no internet, so that this computer can work properly. It's very small. It can be solar powered, or we're looking at a couple of different power options right now, and we're still trying to figure out how to do this. We want to build a curriculum that can be taught by somebody who doesn't have access to internet, who doesn't have access to a stable internet. Like here in the States, we could even saw that problem like when COVID first hit us and schools were forced to go into online learning. There were students who couldn't log on because they didn't have internet, or the internet was just not up to par for what they needed. And this caused an issue, and this is valuable time that students lost to learning. So from the beginning, we always said that we want this program to be available anywhere. So anywhere in the world, no matter what, as long as they can have access to a very short amount of internet, download the curriculum, download a program, whether they're going to need to print that out or they're going to need to have it on a special device, they can have access to that and they can have access to quality resources, and not just resources that were written by somebody in an office, but that have actually been tested out. Because a lot of resources, unfortunately, to this day, they're made by talented people, but they've never actually been tested, and which hurts a lot for a lot of teachers.
Yeah. So we try to make these programs that you can make it online or offline. You can make it a flexible bubbles, which can be from an hour to more 3-4 hours a day for a week or 4 weeks. The essence of the program is that every module at the end, the student has something in his hand, like a t-shirt if he wants to print it out, or he has a graphic design, a book. So he sees in 4 weeks, most of the 4 weeks, the result of what he's doing. Because that's what I noticed that was driving Eric. He could see, actually, this is what I did with what I learned. Right. And then we could see on students, like, you know, that look in the eyes of the student when they hold in first time in their hands or on the screen their first book, and they are like, everybody can read it now? Oh, I'm sending it to my mom. Oh, my auntie just told me that is so cool. Because they realize that it's not a useless sitting there. It's something that actually they can implement. So based on that, and then it was the big question, how to scale it, right? And this is what we are working now, and we already are testing it. We developed actually a program that is 5 days a week. It's between 2, 3, or 4 hours, depending on the student ability, or if it's a teacher who's teaching it or a parent, where the step-by-step everything is organized. So the student just has to go through. It's everything interactive, so they have to engage. They have to do a lot of work. And then this what we think, and we now see that kids love. You know, we had kids, Eric just received, because he's teaching the 9 to 12 graders after school. And we just received a letter last week from a father who said, to wrote to the principal, please do this program to continue, because my son was not having the ability to communicate with people. He was all the time bullied in school. He was not willing to learn. And now he's with Eric, I think from the start of the school year. And he sent Eric at 3 o'clock in the night last night, what he was working on, because he changed his mind. He wants to learn. He wants to go to college. And then the principal was like, what just happened? No. And this is what happens. You know, it's not a miracle. Right. It's a process. And this is one message for the parents, which are, you know, want or they are afraid. Don't expect miracles. You know, you take out your kid from the school, there is no miracle. It will not come better. He will not know more. But he will definitely engage in a process that will make him better no matter what.